Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week I wanted to do another Q&A video. I felt the last Q&A video I did was more of a, introduction to myself, telling you guys more about me. And with this one, I kind of wanted to try to tackle the age-old question, how do I improve as an artist? I think we all kind of ask ourselves that question. I know for me, sometimes I feel like my work, it gets a little stale, feels like I kind of plateaued a little bit, and I always try to think of ways to kind of improve or get better. And with this, I hope, you can kind of get a look into how I handle dealing with it, and maybe it'll help you as well. So enjoy the video. Yeah, so basically, I know this is not for everybody. I know everybody kind of works at their own pace, but for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been kind of making it a point to at least create one piece of artwork a week. For me, it keeps the ideas flowing. It's almost like the more you create, the quicker you get. And the more ideas you come up with, believe it or not. And you kind of learn little things each piece that you do, because it's sort of like when you set a goal to once a week, it's almost like even if you kind of felt like you failed at one piece the previous week, you kind of get another shot to kind of outdo that last piece. And I've kind of been in that situation where it's like I'll come up with a really cool idea and it would get a really great response, and then I'll try to just kind of keep that momentum, and I'll create something and it'll just kind of fall flat, and I'll sort of feel like, oh, I kind of rushed that, or I could have done it better. But at least there's next week, and you always kind of set that goal to sort of like there's always next week to kind of create something different and better possibly. So yeah, I feel like this definitely helps a lot. Oh, everybody's favorite topic, criticism for your work. Yeah, I mean, everybody goes through it. I mean, I still go through it. I mean, I think it's part of the job of being a creative is just, people are gonna say stuff about your artwork. It's just kind of how it is, especially if you're doing, client work. And in the early days when I heard, criticisms, or, I took it very personally. But, gradually you just sort of like learn to sort of, adjust. And, to be honest, sometimes, I was kind of big headed and was like, oh, you're wrong. It looks great in my head. But sometimes, a client will offer their opinion, or they'll say a suggestion, and, sometimes it works out for the best. It actually improves the artwork. So I'm really up for people, giving me their 2 cents. And like, I've learned to sort of like, almost expect it, because sometimes if a, client is like a little bit too accepting of the artwork, you're almost like, oh, like maybe there's something wrong with it, or, they're not saying anything about it, so either it's good or they just don't care, or, that kind of stuff goes through your head. So, but I think, yeah, just taking it all as a positive, because, everybody needs to improve, and like, sometimes you don't see your own flaws until somebody else kind of points it out. So I think, that's definitely key to improving. Yeah, another important thing I think is, being a part of the art community, whether it's, in your town or online. I think with the internet and social media, it's really easy to sort of, find artists who are similar to you or different if you want, and, friend them and exchange ideas and just kind of get inspired and get better, because I think think it's important to sort of, you know, find people who are really good and that kind of encourage you to get better, you know, because, you know, sometimes, you know, it's like, you know, you can kind of be at a certain level and be content, like, oh yeah, I'm good enough. But when you see another artist who's just amazing, it's almost like, man, I gotta get better. Like, I feel like I'm slacking, and you know, I think it's really good. I think it's a healthy thing, and it's also cool to you know, exchange ideas and, like, you know, just talk about art in general, and you know, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's very important, you know. Last but not least, practice and experiment. You know, practice, practice, practice. I mean, it's pretty stereotypical, pretty standard, but you know, repetition with anything that you do, you're going to get better. And you then experiment when you get kind of bored. I know you know, when I was kind of first doing digital art, that was like the first thing I did was I refused to kind of follow any guidelines on how to do something. I'd always kind of like try to figure it out. And in that process, I kind of developed, you know, certain looks to my artwork that I felt like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is like sort of unique, whatever. And, you know, I felt like I experimented and I succeeded and I figured something out. And you know, just the more you do something, the better you get. It's kind of like, you know, the first part of this, you know, doing a piece a week, doing artwork once a week. It just improves your skill. The quality of your work will improve. I guarantee it. It's kind of like me in drawing. Ever since I started doing these little time-lapse videos on here, I could see myself improving, even though it's very little. At least to me it is. But you know, there is an improvement there. So you know, you can apply this to any kind of art you do. And yeah. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If so, just, you know, leave a comment or subscribe to the channel, and you know, just to kind of keep up to date with everything that's going on with me. But yeah, it's been cool talking to you, and I'll catch you later.